telling an adult about the things that are happening around you. Check out Safe to Help.
Safe to Help is not about snitching or getting someone in trouble. It's about helping one another out.
You can call, you can text.
You can download the free mobile app, and it's all over social media.
So what do you say? Let's give it a try.
Brought to you by IEMA.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today, Lisa Sheppard, facilitates the Sangamon Valley CEO program. Good morning, Lisa.
Morning, Seth.
Thanks for coming out. Sorry.
We're both saying the same thing at the same time.
Yeah. Well,
thanks so much for having me. It's always a great morning with you.
How's your class going this year?
We have a great class of 9. Have 9 students who are highly motivated and learning a lot and growing and are exactly where we want them to be at this point in the season.
Tell me where your kids come from and the footprint of your program.
Yes. So we are Sangamon Valley CEO, and we are a high school education program for high school seniors. We have students from Argenta, Bement, Cerro Gordo, DeLand, Weldon, and Monticello. And the tenet of the course is that they learn real life business skills from actual professionals while running a class business their first semester and an individual business the second semester. And those are just the highlights. There's so many other great caveats of the program that we've gotten to talk about over the months, but that's who we are.
So tell me a little bit about what your class has been doing to this point in the school year. We're probably, 3/4 of the way through the semester, I feel like, or 2/3 to 3/4 of the way through. That's unbelievable.
We are. It is flying by so fast. The core tenet of the class is that the students learn by doing. They've executed a badge business in the very first quarter, where they got some knowledge on how to make contacts and source something and start from scratch and start from nothing and build a team. There's a lot of team building, a lot of networking that happens in the class. And so they've really set that foundation with their badge business. We have moved into class business now. My class is working on a holiday event. It will be December 17th at Monarch, and will be a just great venue. And what they learned during that class business is how do you put together and run something? And it's very applicable to real life business. How do you start with an idea and then take that idea from just a seed of an idea to an actual reality? So
right.
They're learning some great skills along the way.
I would think a lot of the stuff you're doing, the things you're doing from the beginning to where you're at now, really builds on each other. A lesson in, a firm handshake, to making eye contact, to how to approach a business about, supporting your individual business or your group business or your badge business. Like, everything kind of builds on itself. So what have you seen in terms of the growth of the students and how that's preparing them for this group business you're talking about?
That's such a good point. It's really neat to watch the students come in the very first weeks of class, and very unsure of what they've just signed up for. And it's a shift in a learning process, whereas a lot of our schools, because of the format they need to be with so many kids in the classroom, it's a very, face forward. You're respectful if you're not talking, absorb the information, regurgitate it on the test. It's great for getting those students up and running with like their grammar and their math skills and the things that they need to be able to apply in real life situations. The neat thing about CEO is that they are now able to take those life skills and how do we apply math to accounting? How do we apply English to a business plan? And they're actually practicing those things. And as they practice, just like you said, it is so neat to see the transformation of every single student. It's one of the joys of being the facilitator is that I have seen growth in every single student that we've had come through our program.
Right.
From the student who doesn't really like to talk or look an adult in the eye as they come in, to that confident kid who just really can take off and thrive and grow and start to network and see where those skills can take them.
Sure. How about the idea of introducing these students to their strengths, maybe their weaknesses, and developing, maybe taking that weakness and at least developing it to where, okay, someone isn't good at accounting and budgeting and things like that, but at least maybe they can do it a little bit by the time the program ends. How about just highlighting what these kids are good at? How do you do that?
Oh, that's great. We start with the DISC profile. So that highlights their natural tendencies. Where are they naturally driven? Where are they naturally like to sit back and evaluate and then contribute? What are those natural skills that we all have? And the beauty of that is a team needs every single one of those individuals, and that they are best off functioning in their strength. But then, like you said, we all need a high level concept of accounting and how we can budget. So they'll have a session with, our students had a session with an accountant already, and they're learning those terms and they're learning those budgeting skills and then applying them in class, and then learning, okay, when that's not my skill set, I need to partner with a team member. I need to hire an accounting firm. I know, and I have a freelance interior design business, and I know like some of those things that aren't my skills, I hire an accountant because that's not my strong point.
Right.
And they're learning that no one person can do all the things, nor is it healthy for one person to do all the things.
Right. Yeah. Now, when do you introduce the beginnings of thinking about a group business? Like, is there a certain point in their skills development you start to introduce that, or is it just kind of all happening at once and the picture is kind of coming into focus for them in that process?
Great question. It's a both and. It's always, we start it after we do the badge business so that they have a basic knowledge of how that went and who their team is. And we do a lot of team building activities during that badge business as well. So they're getting to know each other and the team and who they're working with. And then, like you said, it's a building block to that next phase of doing the class business. And then this class business is the building block to their individual business in the spring. And then all along, we're filtering in business visits with our local professionals who are training them in these skills in real time.
Sure. Lisa Sheppard facilitates the Sangamon Valley CEO program, our guest in studio. All right, so the kids are embarking on that group business. You mentioned December 17th. Is that right? No.
Yes.
17th. Okay.
December 17th at Monarch Event Center in Monticello, 212 Independence Street.
Okay.
It will be from 2 to 8 p.m. And what you can watch for details on our website and our Facebook page. They have a whole lot of wonderful things planned.
All right, very good. Can you divulge any of those for us?
I can.
All right, what do you have going on?
So they have a carriage ride that's going to be around the square, which will be its own kind of individual pricing. And we've got a really neat little quaint square in Monticello. So that will be a great activity. We will have photo ops with Santa at a photo booth, and ornament decorating, cookie decorating, and what is hot cocoa bar?
Yeah,
can't forget the
yes.
hot cocoa bar.
There's probably going to be a little bit of that
toppings
in the carriage ride. I would venture a guess.
And they even had to figure out their own pricing, how they work for that. They're going to do $8 for an individual, $30 for a family 4-pack, and $40 for a family 6-pack.
Very good. So a lot of things going on for the kids. What are they learning in this process? What have you seen them, when that kind of light bulb goes off in the head? Where are you seeing that at in this process?
It is so neat to see all those different light bulbs go on, from how do I call a local business and reach out for a sponsorship for our activity? How do we set up a contract with a carriage company, and then they have to do all the legwork themselves. They had to call an insurance company. How do we get event insurance for that day? You know, we can't just do this and hope for the best, you know. And like,
I literally wouldn't have thought of that. That's interesting.
Yeah, and they're calling and setting up these appointments and executing. I facilitate and make sure that things aren't going off the rail and kind of nudge them here and there as to where they need to be, but making sure that everything is executed in a legal manner, just like it would be in a real business.
Yeah. How do you manage that urge to jump in and say, no, you're not doing this right, versus letting them learn they're not doing that right? You know what I mean? Like, how do you balance that like mom and parent urge to do that?
I might have a few extra teeth marks in my tongue every now and then. That is, and I am naturally probably a little bit more type A and like to have things under control. So I've learned to take a step back and try to be more quiet. And the great part about learning to do that is that if I start talking too much, they shut down. And so if the class goes really quiet really quick, I know I've said too much.
I see.
So
how long did it take you to learn that?
Oh my goodness. Probably fleshed out in the first year, or you know, you kind of start feeling out the class dynamics. Like, I need to try to sit back and now on that, we have an executive team, and I meet with the executive team and then coach the executive team so that the executive team is then coaching and running the class, and they do a really great job in that format.
Sure.
And we have some really great team members who are leading really well.
Right.
But all back to your question on how to decide what to say. Midland Institute, who is our higher level institute, had a great analogy. They said that you want the students to be able to feel the whiff of the cars, but not get run over. So if they're standing on you know, the side of the road, let them feel the pain and the reality of making a decision. But if that decision is going to cause anybody to get hurt or completely run off the rails, then I'm stepping in. And a lot of times, instead of like stepping in, it's more of a, hey, have you reached out to an insurance agent? Here is a phone number for an insurance agent. Instead of just saying, you guys have to do this, coaching instead of telling.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there's probably so much of this venture that they're not familiar with. So how do you talked about introducing the idea of, you might want to insure this event. You know, there's other things that are probably coming up that they aren't considering, and you have to kind of guide them in that direction. You know, are you able to do that in other ways besides just think about this, you know, those types of comments?
There's some really neat checkpoints and parameters set up within the program. They do a board pitch for their class business before it's approved. And so I have the board to help guide and direct myself, but then they have direct access to the board. And in that board pitch, they have 6-7 minds that have done things very similar to this.
Right.
And they're bringing up well, what about this? And have you thought through the logistics of ticketing? Have you thought through the logistics of where you're sourcing your hot chocolate and all of those things? So they really do have a team and a network of people behind them to pull it all off.
A benefit that a lot of probably new business owners don't have a lot of times. You know what I mean?
Right. I think over and over again, as our classes in these sessions with these fantastic local business professionals, what we hear again and again is, I wish I had this when I was this age.
Right.
Even just to learn, I don't have to do it all myself. And there's people I can partner with and network with at the small business level
Right.
is invaluable as well.
Sure. Well, if you don't mind, Lisa, before we go to break, just highlight one more time the group business the kids are doing, when and where, how folks get information.
Thank you. We are at Monarch Event Center, December 17th in Monticello, 212 Independence Avenue, and watch our website, SangamonValleyCEO.com, and our Facebook page at Sangamon Valley CEO for those event details and ticketing coming soon.
All right, very good. Lisa Sheppard facilitates the Sangamon Valley CEO program. Our guest in studio, more to come on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn mostly lower, beans lower. Chicago wheat trading higher. December corn 658 3/4, up 3/4. March corn down 1 3/4, 661 1/4. May corn 660 1/4, down 2 1/2. November beans down 7 1/2, 1448. January beans down 4 1/4, 1445 3/4. March beans 1449, down 4 3/4. December Chicago wheat 819, up 5 1/4. March wheat up 3 1/2, 838 3/4. December bean meal 407.10, down 30 cents. December bean oil down 13 cents, 76.84. In the livestock market, November feeders 177.05, up a dime. December live cattle up 47 cents, 152 even. December lean hogs 84.62, up 27 cents. In the energy market, December crude oil down 83 cents, 88.13. I'm Jim Taylor for the RFD Radio Network.
Are you a friend of agriculture? This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. We're giving a $500 Friends of Ag discount to anyone that orders a new Chevrolet or Buick to be built just for you this month. Are you a friend of ag? You are if you're a member of any ag organization, employed by any ag-related business, including research, inputs, manufacturing, sales, and marketing, and of course, ag education. Come in, order yours today. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
For the latest in Central Illinois agricultural news, visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Get updated information on markets, weather, ag news, local interviews with NAFB farm broadcaster Jared White, and much, much more. All at IllinoisFarmRadio.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Lisa Sheppard facilitates the Sangamon Valley CEO program. Lisa, one thing I always kind of enjoy hearing about is the growth of the kids because, you know, it was a couple years ago. They came in. I think it was Melanie's group. I could be wrong. I thought it was Melanie's group came in and they it was one of the first 2 months of the school year they came in here, and then they came in at the end and you could just totally see how much the kids had changed just in those short few months. How about you? What are you seeing? What are you hearing from your kids? What's the testimony like from them at this point?
Isn't that an amazing part of the process?
It is.
And
it is.
To you don't mean to gush about it, but it is just to see them grow. And then I think what's even more incredible is to hear it in their own words, that they can articulate, I am growing, and they do. So here we're not even to the end of the first semester, and we've been including quotes from their journal on our Facebook page, and this was one of them. It says, I think as a team, we have been working well together so far in our class business. We've set a good foundation of a business that everyone seems to be interested in, and I think that will help us greatly.
Yeah.
So they're seeing it as well, and they value learning how to work as a team. And I think as we think about the younger generations and mentoring on them, that's what we want for them. And the number of business professionals that are connected to CEO, from investors to mentors to site visits to we're just so thankful for our local businesses, and we see very visibly the impact they have, and that the students are changing and growing.
Do those people get to see it, the business owners? I mean, I'm sure the ones closely involved in the program see it, from those like mentor coffees you have at the beginning of the year to the end. I bet they see those things. Do the folks maybe hosting a site visit get to see, like, do they get to go back and maybe the kids are more engaged, not more engaged, but they're asking more questions and they feel more comfortable doing things like that? Do they ever get to see that process play out?
They do if they come to trade show at the end of the year.
All right.
Or a shameless plug for another one for our program is we are going to have our investor coffee for our program. It will be at 3R Squared in Monticello Tuesday, November 22nd from 7:30 till 9 a.m. And that is a great opportunity to come out and see our students and get to know the program and see that when you come, they're going to greet you and talk about what they're doing in the class and come ask them questions. Like,
Definitely.
They love that interaction. So those are opportunities that they can see. We also typically go to like our local chamber and we'll do presentations there. So those are other opportunities that our businesses get to see how far they've come in their professional development.
Sure. Now, Lisa, anything that I've missed in terms of like where the students are at developmental wise right now, anything you want to highlight in terms of the comments they've made? I know you want to talk about a few things Melanie's chapter has going on, but just your perspective, anything you want to add this morning?
One other one that just came to mind is that I just had a student reach out who was in our first year program. So now this is 3 years away, and got a text like, hey, I'm working for a company that I think you would enjoy as a site visit. Do you want me to connect you? And of course, so it's neat to see that they are remembering their experience.
Yeah.
And then he was able to express like, even now I'm realizing how my time in CEO has changed how I look at business and then how I am able to be as a business professional.
Oh, there's no better endorsement than that.
So I can't help but put that in as well. So,
Sure.
And just to see the fruit of the program is a great experience as well.
Well, quickly, about only 20 seconds, highlight what Melanie's chapter has going on.
Melanie's chapter is going to be doing a holiday 5K. So look for details on that at centralillinoisceo.com or Central IL on their Facebook page. They will have a great event as well. So watch for details on that.
And your chapter, how folks can follow you?
SangamonValleyCEO.com or Sangamon Valley CEO on Facebook.
Very good.
See you there.
Lisa Sheppard, Sangamon Valley CEO Facilitator. Network News is now.
Traffic, 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM, W222 BG Clinton,